So if, like me, a few years ago when A Memory of Light came out and you finally finished it and put it down, one of the first thoughts you had is, what now? What is the future of the Wheel of Time? There's a whole lot of speculation and there's tons of possibilities, but I'd like to, in this video, just talk about what's most and least likely, what I'd like to see, and what I would really hate to see. First of all, let's address the elephant in the room. The Wheel of Time is apparently in development to become a TV show. It has been for a long time, and there's been some serious stumbles along the way, including that god-awful pilot that aired in the middle of the night a couple of years ago. Will we actually get a Wheel of Time TV show, or will it just be kicked around until it fades to absolute nothing? It's a possibility. Yes, this is a very popular series, but a lot other series are being picked up right now, and it seems like studios like to pick up series where the author is still alive. People like Brandon Sanderson, or as one comment called him recently, Branderson, which I like, and George R. R. Martin are going to have more sway because when the author's really alive, they can campaign for their book a lot harder. And Robert Jordan not being here, rest in peace, does dampen the possibility, in my opinion. It seems more likely the studio could drop it. That being said, Robert Jordan's widow, Harriet, is still apparently advocating for the series very well, and I have full faith that if anything could happen, she can get it done. So how would we like to see this TV show come about? I'm a very big fan of the idea of having it live action, and actually I would like a shorter episode per season span. I think each book can be done in about 4 episodes, each about 2 hours apiece. I think that would fit the pacing of the series a lot better. 1 hour at a time just really wouldn't progress you a whole lot, especially at the very beginning and end of the series. I think it needs the kind of more, I think it's the UK format of longer episodes, shorter seasons. Personal preference. It's gonna need a very high CGI budget for weaving and these massive Trolloc and Myrddraal armies. There's gonna be a lot of practical effects as well, and it's gonna be difficult to do. All that being said, I still do think live action is the way to go. I'm not an anime fan, and I just couldn't really get into it if it was done in that format. It's just not for me. But outside of a TV show, what else could be coming for the Wheel of Time? There are not going to be any more books set in this universe. Apparently it was a possibility when Robert Jordan was still alive. He kicked around the idea of doing a Matt spin-off book where he goes back to Sean-chan, I believe was the idea, and maybe a couple others following some more of the side characters and more from the Age of Legends. But with Robert Jordan passing and Brandon Sanderson focusing on his own works, I highly doubt we'll ever get another book set in this universe, which I'm very okay with. It feels very complete to me. There were some graphic novels being done. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like they sold well enough to keep going, and they stopped. Although the ones that are out there are certainly worth picking up. I highly recommend picking up the first few volumes of the graphic novel that covers Eye of the World. It is very cool. Now, there's one other format that I would really like to see the Wheel of Time actually get into. It's the one that I actually think Wheel of Time would fit the best in and would actually be able to execute the tone and feeling of the series the best, and that is video games. I'm not a huge gamer, believe it or not. I'm not super into it. I maybe game a couple hours a week. The Wheel of Time to me feels like it's built to be set in a video game. I would love to play an open world RPG style game where you can choose to be an Aes Sedai, follow the shadow, join the Children of the Light, just be a farmer in the Two Rivers, all kinds of different options, and just kind of go down these different roads. That would be where I'm most excited. There has been a Wheel of Time video game before where you are an Aes Sedai trying to get one of these seals to the Dark One's prison and dealing with some of the Black Aja and Forsaken as well as Trollocs and Myrddraal. It was actually a really decent game for its time, and you can find it online pretty easily and give it a try. That being said, a newer, updated Wheel of Time game really feels like it needs to happen, and with a serious drought of fantasy-based games right now, I think there's a huge market for it. The only thing we've gotten really recently that's done a great job is the Shadow of Mordor series, and even the last entry in that didn't hold up to its predecessor. Assassin's Creed has almost entirely fallen off, and I think the field is ripe for a franchise like Wheel of Time to dominate the video game fantasy area. That's where I would like to see the Wheel of Time really go. A TV show would be cool. Any more books would feel wrong, but a video game, or maybe even the continuations of the graphic novels, would just be awesome and something I'd really love to see. So that is where my head is at when it comes to continuation of Wheel of Time. Let's get a campaign going somewhere, somehow, to get a big studio company behind the idea of pushing through a Wheel of Time video game. Obviously, there are video game companies that would do this very well, and some that might do it like Satan. It's up to us, the fans, to try to make our voices very well heard, and who actually gets the rights to this, because I have a pretty good feeling the Wheel of Time could end up in video game format within the next 10 to 15 years. It just seems like the demand will be there, and with Wheel of Time kind of slowly growing in popularity as it has been recently, I'm excited to see it happen. No promises though, all speculation. I'd love to know what your thoughts are. What would be the best next step for the Wheel of Time? Where would you like to see the series go? Or would you like it to just stay as is and not be adapted to anything? And if that's the case, why? Let me know. I love you guys, and I hope to talk to you soon. Have a great day. Like and subscribe if you've not already. Hit the Patreon if you're feeling incredibly generous, and have an awesome one. Peace.